Patsy, Connie, and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Dun dun.
Ta-da. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody this evening?
Good, I hope.
I hope.
Hi, Wolfie.
Hey, Wolfie. It's so good to see you. I'm kind of tired. Did everyone else wake up tired this morning? I mean, even people I know that have all the energy in the world woke up this morning tired. I'm like, what's going on with that?
Right. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. I just changed the color of my lips.
Well, see, so that's a good color on you, right, Whoopi? That's a good color on her. That's what I told her too. I said, "Wow, you look amazing," and I look like 10 miles of bad road, so we're not even going to go there. Anyway, but you got to see the trial too, right?
Yeah, I was watching the trial today. The babies actually did very well for me today.
Yay!
So I was able to, pay more attention to it on my phone.
Well, you tell a little bit about what you heard, and I'll tell a little bit about what I heard because I was listening to a lot of the back channels. But
Yeah.
I heard a lot on the trial, so.
Well, they tried to discredit Dawn Richards, for one thing, that she was, trying to lie. Why didn't she ever bring up that he threatened her before now? And it was, and she said, as time goes on, more things are coming back to me.
Right.
Now, and somebody in a chat room happened to say, well, doesn't ketamine mess with your memory? So if these people are taking it, maybe it does have an effect like that.
Did you totally pass out and black out where you don't remember anything? That's what I understand it to do.
Right.
If you take too much of it, yeah.
Right. And then, as time goes on and you hear different things, it's like, wait a minute, I remember that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you asked me something that happened 16 years ago, I'd be like, huh? I mean, I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know where I was living 16 years ago.
I'm trying to think of what I was doing 16 years ago. 16 years ago. That puts me at 44. Well, I was here. But.
Yeah, I don't even know where I was living at 16 years ago. So for these people to remember these things, it must have had a huge impact. Huge impact.
Exactly.
Now, I can remember bad things that happened to me 20, 30 years ago.
Those things don't escape us, do they?
Right. But I still don't remember where I was living 16 years ago. I'd have to sit and think, and that would take a long time. Yeah, Wolfie, you're right.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't ask me what time I went to bed last night because I couldn't answer that right now. Not truthfully.
And Carrie Morgan was on the stand today, which was Cassie's best friend for years, almost 20 years. And she was up there talking about how she witnessed Diddy beating Cassie and the one time that the police came to her apartment and Cassie refused to show them her ID. So I think Carrie got pissed at that. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure. Who wouldn't? I would have been mad.
And so, but she said that after that, um, there was another time when Diddy had smacked around Cassie and then he threw a wooden hanger at her and she ended up getting a concussion. And Diddy paid her off 30 grand. He settled 30 grand with her out of court, no nothing. Paid her 30 grand.
30 grand.
Had her sign a NDA, which is non-disclosure agreement.
Right. And he had Cassie give that to her, right?
He had Cassie give her the $30,000 and sign the NDA, and
right.
She's never talked to Cassie since that day.
See, he destroyed that friendship. He knew what he was doing.
And they were friends for almost 20 years.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. The man is not stupid by any means. He knows exactly how to destroy people.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Sold his soul to the devil. And weren't you saying that they testified today that he was caught in college doing the same thing to somebody?
Oh, yeah. When he was in college, there's witnesses supposedly in front of the whole dorm at college. He beat his girlfriend with a belt
in front of everyone.
In front of everyone. So this is not a recent behavior. And I'm going to tell you something. From the first time, this I do remember. From the first time, and the only reason I remember it is you're going to hear. The first time I ever saw Diddy, I thought he was a piece of garbage. I thought he looked weird, and I thought he was not normal.
The very first time you ever saw him?
Very first time I ever saw him. And do you know how he got the name Puff?
You know what? Yeah, please tell me that, because somebody asked me that, and I was like, I don't know. He's Puff Daddy, he's P. Diddy, he's Brother Love.
Puffy came from, they weren't real clear if it was high school or college, but he would get pissed off and huff and puff. So they started calling him Puffy.
Oh, good one, boy. Okay, document. This is where the name Puff came from. You guys, hush. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so that's where that came from. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just have such a hard time believing that this is modern day stuff. I have a really hard time with that.
Well, and the dirt that's came out so far, people are having a hard time even wrapping their brain around what they're hearing now. And it's just going to get worse, guys. Just hang on tight. It's just worse from here. I'm afraid we're going to hear by far worse.
But I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think this is going to affect Hollywood. I think they're going to keep the big names out.
You think?
I think so.
I hope not. I hope all of those.
So do I.
I hope they bring all those evil trolls to justice that did whatever they did. Bring them all out. Name them all. Whether they go to jail or not, name them. I guess there was a lot of names dropped today in court.
Yeah, but they're all his insides.
Yeah, his insiders. And
security.
Right.
What was the other one? DJ Rock.
Right. And you know, they said that DJ Rock was the only one they could go to when they were beaten or whatever that would come to their defense. The one that was really bad was Harvey Pierre.
Yeah.
He was the one that said, either you do what Diddy says or you will be hurt. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Ruben refused to help one time when he was there when Diddy beat Cassie. And Carrie asked Ruben to do something, and he's like, I can't.
See, that's where all of this comes in,
Oh, and the chef that worked for Diddy
right?
has a lawsuit against him because apparently he didn't pay her to work. She worked all that time and he didn't pay her.
Wow.
He also didn't pay Dawn Richards, and she estimates he owes her around $3 million.
Wow. So he
Mm.
just thinks that he can just.
So that brings in forced labor. That brings in part of the whole RICO with forced labor.
Wow. What a scumbag. You go in there and you cook what I want to, and I'm not going to ever pay you.
My question is, how did you survive? How long did you work for him? And how did you survive? And why would you stay? Why would you stay?
Because you're in fear for your life, because I'm sure he threatened each and every one of them. I will hurt your family. I will hurt your kids. I will kill you.
It could be. I mean, I don't know.
And some of them, he paid their homes. He paid for their apartments. He paid for all their stuff.
Well, that was his inner circle.
Yeah, like KK and Cassie and all these other people. Yeah,
E-Rock.
yeah. That's why
Yeah.
they keep their mouths shut.
Gene Deal was out there too, which was an ex-bodyguard, and they did talk to him for a minute, and he just all he said, "Hi, Theodore."
No, I didn't. I need to. It's all pulled back. It's all pulled back.
Yeah. I don't know. I like I said, I hearing and watching this trial really makes me sick to my stomach because I have a very hard time, and I am by no means am I like trying to be this big religious person because I'm not. I mean, I believe in God, but I'm not a big Jesus freak or anything like that. But this just absolutely turns my stomach, and I can't comprehend what he's done to her and to people. And
Too
and I
many.
know and I know that, fear is really why people stay. I
You know
know
it was. You know
I
it
know that.
was. You know it was.
Fear and loving that person.
Well, Cassie loved him. It was Stockholm syndrome all over the place.
I mean, my ex-husband was a narcissist. He didn't beat me,
Yeah.
you know, but his verbal abuse, it'd be like just punch me and get it over with
Right?
because it was
Take
so
us
much
away
mental
quicker.
abuse, you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
And just going through that for 10 years, and people kept asking me, "Why don't you leave him?" I love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I put up with his narcissistic ways actually for a total of 13 years. And I mean, no pats on the back for me or anything, but you live and you learn,
Right.
and I just would never put myself in that position again. I just
No.
won't do it. I
Yeah.
will not do it. I mean, the first time I see a red flag, it's like, okay,
I'm out of here.
no, I'm out of here.
Yep.
I'm out of here. I'm very diligent. I don't want to be alone. I would like to have, somebody in my life, but I'm not putting up with shit no more. I've been there. I've done that.
Right.
And when I got a divorce, I went back to work. I got a really good job. And then I got a second job because I bought a home, and I raised my two boys by myself.
Yep.
So, and I can guarantee you neither one of them act like Diddy did or does, you
No.
know, and don't even, with the whole, well, his mom, blah, blah, blah. No, it's a matter of morals and no morals.
Right. Right.
It's
You know
not
when
right
you're
or
doing
wrong.
something wrong. You know when it's
It's not
wrong.
right or wrong. It's morals.
Right. You
Yeah,
know when it's wrong. You
right.
feel it inside. You know when it's wrong. And I'm sure the whole time he was with his mom, he knew that was wrong, what
Hmm.
she was doing.
Did he though?
I think so. And instead of turning the other cheek and saying, you know what, my mother's a hoe, she's a madam and she's a hoe, and I'm not going to be around this situation, he decided, you know what, I'll just make an empire of it.
But with mommy having a brothel,
Right?
do you think he was excluded from anything?
Oh, no, no. He got a taste of it and liked it.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I think he's one evil demon, and I can't, and demon isn't even as, I can't think of a worse word, because if I could, I would.
Hmm. And
You
I'll tell you what. To go one step further to protect my kids, I mean, my older son was older. He was 17. I would only go on a date when my younger son was at his dad's. And my older son was 17, and it's like, this is so and so, blah, 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 blah. But there wasn't like too many men flooding through that door and out that door. Guys,
know,
I didn't want to be the talk of the neighborhood. I'm not built like that. I
no,
can't have different men coming in and out like that.
no, and you don't want to introduce your kids to
Mm-mm.
come and go people
No.
unless it was real serious and you felt like they were going to be around for a while.
I think Chris only met two, and one was a cop. So I didn't think I had to worry about that. But then again, nowadays, who knows?
Right? Well, there
You
you go.
know.
There you go.
So, but it's the morals that you teach your kids. It's not, right or wrong. Yes, but it comes down to morals. It's not coming down to right or wrong. It's coming down to morals.
Hmm.
Like, how can you hurt another person to that extreme?
He has no conscience.
I've been told that I have a sharp tongue, and I've been called a bitch for my sharp tongue because when you get me mad enough, I go for your guts and I go where it's going to hurt. Is it right or is it wrong? I don't know. But I only do it till I get to that breaking point.
Right? You
I'm
take
only
and you take and you take and you take. That's me. I take so much and then it's like dynamite exploding and all I see is red. And at
right,
that point,
right. And it doesn't mean I don't have any morals
right. Now you're
because,
defending yourself.
I call you a slew of words that I normally wouldn't use in a regular conversation,
Right.
but you hit that breaking point.
Right.
So now I'm out for blood
Right. And then I'm done.
and then I'm done.
And then I am totally done. I have been
Yep.
very blessed with an amazing husband for
Yes, you
37.
have.
I mean, I can't imagine. I've never been married before. This is the one and only, and I've been extremely blessed. But I try to put myself in the situation because there was a lot of my family members that had gotten divorces and did go through domestic violence and all that kind of thing. So I did see it. I was around it, you know,
You're in. Well,
and I think, yeah, that's
I
fine.
I can tell you that for the longest time, I thought there was an invisible sign that said, "If you're an asshole, I'll date you." I swear to God, I thought there was an invisible sign up there saying, "Loser, loser, I'll date you, I'll date you."
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what happened is people look at you and they see this kind, warm, loving person, and they don't know what lies in the shadows. You know what I mean? They don't know the anger part, the mad part. I think we all have that if we're pushed too far. Don't you? I think,
Ah,
don't
I
you?
lost connection. What did you
I
say?
know. It was like, I know. I was giving you all kinds of compliments, and now guess what? I'm not going to give you to you anymore. Hey, KMM.
Hi,
Hey,
Kim.
Teddy. Hey, Whoopi. I'm going to say hey before I give all these compliments to her again. No, I said they probably look at you and they see this kind, reserved, fun-loving person, but they don't see what lurks in the shadows. Only the shadow knows. You know what I mean? But I think everybody
No,
has
I mean,
that side.
I don't hit, I don't hit, I don't punch, I don't push,
No,
I don't try to run them over,
no,
even though I thought of it a couple of times. But I'm not going to jail for nobody.
no,
You're not worth my freedom.
no, no.
But I will cut you up and split you in two with my tongue.
And there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. I Yes, I am kind. Yes, I am loving. Yes, I am caring. And if you treat me that way, then I'll treat you that way.
Right, right.
But, you know, if you want to treat me like I'm a child, because that's what it boils down to. That's what a
Right,
narcissist does. They
right.
treat
Beats you
you like
down.
a child. They
Yeah.
have every aspect of your life. They have you financially, they have you mentally, they
Yeah.
have you physically. That's they
Oh my
have.
God, you're describing me. I have the bank account. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't know what it was like to share a bank account with a husband.
Oh, I don't know
I
what
have
it's
no
like
clue.
not to.
I have no clue what it's like to share. I have no clue what it's like to talk about money issues, which we
Wow.
really didn't have them, but he was telling me
Right.
we did. So, yeah, I would not even know where to begin.
Wow.
And now the guy that I'm seeing, he's throwing money at me.
And how do you like that?
It really honestly it makes me uncomfortable.
See, you're one of the few.
It makes me uncomfortable. Do you need anything? Do you want anything? And if there's a time when I do need it, it's like, can I get some money for gas? He's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. And he'll hand me, he has three pockets, one that has ones, fives, and tens, one that has 20s, and one that has hundreds. That's the bank. And
I
so
almost choked on my lemonade.
he'll take out his wad of 20s and he'll hand it to me and say, take what you want.
Wow.
I don't know how to react. I still feel like a little kid. Daddy, can I have some money? Because that's the way I was programmed.
Right. Right.
I had absolutely no access to money whatsoever until I went back to work when the kids started school. I had absolutely no access to money at all. If my kids got sick in the middle of the night, my mom or dad had to go out, buy them medicine. I would call my ex husband and he would go and he would I would tell him that my mom and dad got money, went and got the medicine, and he would stop at their house because it was on the way home from work in the morning. He worked midnights. He would stop at my parents' house and leave the money for them. That's how bad it was.
That's controlling.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes. And I did that for 13 years.
I
And
never dealt
when
with
I
any
went
of
back to
that.
work, when I was 30 years old before I bought my first brand new car, I had to have him co-sign it because I didn't have any credit. Do you
Wow.
know it took the dealer 45 minutes into talking him into signing for that car? He didn't want to.
Teddy, no, take the money. That's funny.
I mean, it's nice because I do get a lot of things when we go to the store. You know, it's like if you like it, buy it. If you like it, buy it. If you like it, buy it. Put it in the basket if you like it. I'm not used to that.
And then you go, okay, well, let's see. What do I really want?
Right.
Right? No. Okay, now I didn't have that. I've never had that. But we've worked together as a team all these years that I just, you know, he's not one for shopping for himself. So when I go shopping, I basically dress him. You know, I'll go grocery shopping or go to Walmart and I'll walk by and I'll see a shirt and I think, oh my gosh, that would look amazing on him. And then I'll get it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's not a shopper.
Right.
Well, you know what? Rewind that backpedal. Don't take him to the grocery store because he really likes grocery shopping.
Yeah, so does mine.
You know, it's like,
We
oh,
walk
I can't wait.
Every time we walk out of the grocery store, it's $200, $300, $400. I was like, oh my God. The other day we went to the grocery store and he just bought junk food and it was $200. Junk food. Just junk food. And it's like, holy shit.
You know what it is? It's where your priorities are, right? Now, if we walk by that really pretty outfit that's like $50 or $60, and we'd be like, that's really not a bad price.
Right? Right.
You know? But their thing is food.
Yeah, he calls himself Fat Boy.
Fat Boy?
Yeah.
Isn't that a motorcycle?
He says, fat, yeah. Fat boy's got to eat.
Well, I mean, and he probably doesn't care about shirts or pants or see, you're going to end up having to dress him.
No, and he's Italian, so that's where the food comes in. He feeds everybody.
Oh, he makes big food. Yeah, see, no, mine is Scottish and Slavic, Polish. Yeah, but he just likes to eat. And that's from working out all the time. His metabolism is on full drive, and and good for him. You know, I really can't complain about that. Although sometimes I want to go, why are we buying that? I won't eat that. Why are we? Right. You're only thinking of yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
you're silly.
Well, and yes. It is, and he had 6 Harleys.
Wow.
He said he wanted 7, one for every day of the week. He never got to the 7th one, and now he's down to 2.
Well, hey. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you went from one extreme to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And which extreme, and they both make you nervous.
Mm-hmm. I just went straight down the road, middle of the road. But I'm going to tell you something. At our age right now, there's no man going to let a woman walk into their life and be like if you were in your 30s starting off getting married. It's not going to happen. You're going to have your bank account and he's going to have his.
My daughter had that in her when she was just. That's why that started in the beginning, and she was just in her 20s.
Right.
And she said, "Oh no, I have mine and he has his," and I was like, "Why?" And she said, "Because he's a spender, and I don't want him having anything to do with my money."
Well, that's where conversation comes in.
Yeah, well, you know where that went.
Right. Right.
So. Yeah, that is.
I mean, you know what? That comment really sounded bad because that comment sounded like I would date somebody that would give me access to their bank account. And that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking that sounded really bad. You know, be that ugly, nasty stepmom for grown kids. No, that's
It
not.
says, "Give me the money you had. That big wad of the one pocket that's full of the big bills. Yeah, give that to me. And I'm going to go open a bank account, and it'll be in my name."
Right.
No, no, I don't see you anything like that.
No,
No.
I just want to live comfortably. I don't want to, I don't want to worry if I'm going to eat dinner tonight.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be like that.
Right.
Nobody.
I thought those days were over when I was 19 and married with a baby.
Well, you know what? That's funny. That's funny that you say that because I was just looking down and one of my notes. Did you hear Diddy say that he told that guy, Kim is my queen and she lives over there with my kids. I got Cassie where I want her. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Kim is my queen, and he was talking about Kim Porter.
Right.
Kim is my queen and she lives over there with my kids, and I've got Cassie right where I want her.
Right.
In other words, his toy.
He never had any intention of having a normal relationship with her because once he got her signed, he got her. He got her.
It's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal.
And it was horrible because I'm sure she would say, when am I going in the studio? When am I going to record? When are we going to work on this album? And he would just blow her off and tell her, "Oh, tonight's a freak off." What?
Well, there was they said that one time at a very highfalutin, whatever elegant gala party,
Mm-hmm.
that Diddy spit on her. I was thinking about that. You know what? It would have taken everything in me to keep from slapping him right in the face.
Are we going to find out down the road? Now we're only a week and a day in. Are we going to find down the road 4 weeks in that he shit on her too? Because I'm waiting for that to come out.
Well, he's done everything else.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah. He's done that's why it's not capital P period Diddy. It's PEE Diddy. Because come on, he's disgusting. Him and his bodily functions and bodily fluids and the things he wanted done with the bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Other people's bodily fluids he wanted to be massaged with.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was I'm trying to see my notes because I think we've just about the kids weren't in the courtroom.
Nope.
No kids showed up today.
No mom showed up. No sisters. No brothers.
Nobody.
You're right, ma'am. He is. He's beyond a pig.
I don't even know. I don't even know a word that describes him.
Mm-mm.
One testified that one of the witnesses was it Carrie Morgan or was it Don Richard that testified that Diddy took her by the hair and drug her down a hallway 50 feet. The hallway was 50 feet and he dragged her by her hair 50 feet. When you're on the outside of a situation like that and you hear all this horrific stuff, the first thing that comes to your mind is, why didn't she just get the hell out of there? I would have ate dirt on the streets before I ever would have stayed there.
But she loved him.
But she loved him.
She wanted to please him.
You know what? That's just so warped in my head.
And that brings me, apparently her mother is supposed to testify.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a mom and a dad, and I don't think they raised her to think those kinds of things were okay.
She was in the top of her modeling career
Right.
when Diddy found her, and she was really, really popular
Yep.
when he snatched her up.
Yep.
And I guess Beyonce was a model too.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
I just thought she was a singer and that was it, but I
Mm-mm.
guess she was.
No.
She was a model, and they said that Cassie was right up there with her at that time.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame how he destroyed her life,
And many others.
because this will carry on with her name forever. And people know what she did to try and please her man. And
Mm-hmm.
that's got to be enough humiliation in itself.
Yeah, she's going to be known as Freak Off Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad. You destroyed somebody's life that was just starting life.
You know, someone made the comment that if you were to have some STDs, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you spit on somebody, that would be considered a weapon.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. I never thought about that, like a freak off weapon, but still.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you spit on a cop,
Mm-hmm.
you're arrested for attempted murder.
There you go.
They don't know what's in your spit.
See?
Right.
You know, there you
They were all
go.
in fear. I think they all feared him. And
Bless you.
I think they feared him, but the main thing is what did he, other than threatening, anybody can threaten, I'll kill
Right.
you, I'll kill your family. What gave them the notion that he would really do that?
Because he done it. And Don said that he carried a pew pew on his side at all times. They said, did you ever see him put bullets in? Did you ever see him cock the trigger back? No, but he had it with him at all times.
Okay, but I have a gun. I'm sure that may shock people, but I have a gun.
One too, but I've never threatened anybody with it. And I guarantee you he threatened people.
And I don't go around showing it off, and I don't go around telling people I have a gun.
Right.
Because that's just asking for trouble.
Well, he did. And then he got to the point he wasn't even supposed to carry one because of his criminal background, that he had Cassie carry it, or J-Lo carry it, right, or whoever he was with carried in their purse.
Right.
Would you carry one for him if he wasn't supposed to have one?
Right.
I wouldn't have.
No.
Unless I felt like I needed to defend myself.
Right.
But I guess he waved it around. He used to throw things.
Do you think if Cassie would have shot him and killed him, that she would have went to jail?
Just probably because of his... Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Because look, 190 people are coming forward now to testify. Gene Deal won't be one of them. He said he is at the court there because he wants to all go down in normal time. He wants to see it all unfold in real time.
He wants to make sure that P. Diddy
does his time.
Yep. And he wants justice. So.
And the sad thing is, he was there today, but he wasn't in the court. They have the courtroom and those people sitting in the courtroom, and then they have an overflow. And he happened to be in the overflow area today, but I can just guarantee you that he'll be sitting in the courtroom tomorrow. I think someone's going to give up their seat just so Diddy can see that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just for a short period of time.
Well, I'm sure somebody told him that he was there.
There's a great big cat that just jumped up on the car and it's looking at me. Like, who are you? You're new. It's Diddy. He's a transformer,
Yeah,
shapeshifter. No, I think honestly, I think she would have gotten off in self defense. I really do.
I do too. And the world would have been a better place. I'm
Right?
sorry, I don't wish people dead, but that is one man that could fall off the face of the earth, and I don't think too many people would miss him.
No, no, they wouldn't. It's pretty unbelievable the things that he did and the things he got away with, and for how long he got away with them. Years and years and years. 190 people is a lot of people, but do you think that he only affected 190 people in all the time in the big parties that he had? Do you really believe that 190 is all that he affected?
I'm willing to believe that that was close to his inner circle.
Right.
His maids and his butlers, or if he didn't have butlers, his assistants and his chef, and
And his little minions that went running out and doing whatever he told them to do.
keeping tabs on Cassie.
Right. Or whoever else that he was with at the time. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
It's a lot of people. What
Yep.
about the people that were affected that aren't getting up and saying anything?
Right. Right. And I know that Carrie also testified that there was an incident where um, after it was when the police were called and they were in Cassie's apartment, and she wouldn't open the door for Diddy because he was banging on the door, he was beating on the door, and she said that Diddy called her 50 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That's obsessive.
And didn't he hit the door with a hammer?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it a hammer he was beating the door with? That's what I thought I
Mm-hmm.
heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the police showed up and he left.
If
I mean,
somebody's banging on my door
you
with a
can't
hammer,
you can't you just can't come up with an excuse for why you're banging on a door with a hammer to the police. There's no excuse for that.
yeah.
So of course he would leave.
Right. Right.
You
Unbelievable.
know, and what about all those people that lived in the apartments surrounding her? Like they didn't hear what was going on?
They just, have you ever noticed? I mean, you see it a lot. People just don't want to get involved. They just don't want to get involved anymore. They'll walk by, and if somebody's being hurt or whatever, they almost get to a sprint to get around the situation
Yeah.
instead of helping. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's weird. It's really really weird. But from my understanding, it sounded like as soon as he hit her, kicked her, or punched her the first time, she just went in a fetal position. So I don't think that if there was yelling, it was on his part, not her part.
I think it got to the point that all he had to do is raise his hand, and she fell down in a fetal position.
Hmm.
I think that's what I heard. That Clyde's home. Um, that's what happened. She
Hmm.
just fell down and just covered herself. Can you imagine being that afraid all the time that they don't even have to, you don't even have to be hit or anything. You just fall on the floor in a fetal position, covering yourself up in protection. That's sick. That's sick.
Unfortunately, there are probably tens of thousands, if not millions, of women that do that every day, and that's sad.
That
That's
is
very
sad.
very sad.
That is very
But
sad.
I mean, not to this degree that that you can phantom with all the sex stuff behind it. But yeah,
Right. And the police just let him leave. Bye. You need to go. Bye. Even the police don't want to get involved when it comes to domestic violence.
right,
Hello, Clyde. Ugh.
right. They actually, if you talk to a cop, he'll tell you the most dangerous call they go on is domestic violence. because they don't know what they're walking into.
They're afraid. Some domestic violence cases get really bad,
Mhm.
and cops have been hurt.
Cops have been killed
Yeah.
because they walked into a situation they had no idea. They don't know. They don't know if the guy has a gun. They don't know if he has a weapon, like a knife or whatever. And it is. It's very sad. It's very sad.
And do you know what the statistics are? That the one that's getting the brakes beat off of them are the ones that bail them out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Why? The cops came, arrested them, took them away. This is your time to get away, and instead you go to the police station and you get them out.
I watched a movie, and it was a while back, but it was about, the guy used to beat her and everything else. And finally, she got away, and she went to one of those homes for abused women
Mm-hmm.
with her kids. And she eventually moved away,
Mm-hmm.
changed her name. And do you know, 10 years later, he found her and killed her?
Is that the one that Nancy McKeon was in,
It might be. It might be.
where he finally found her and then he crippled her? He cut her from here to here and stabbed her in the back a few times and kicked her. And people were watching. They were telling him to stop, but he wouldn't. And then and that's a true story.
Well, this one, he killed her. So,
Yeah, this one is.
but I remember that movie with her.
Yeah, that was horrible too. I mean, why?
Well, what about the one with Farrah Fawcett, Burning Bed, where she
That
set
she had enough
on
and just
fire?
burned him up in there. Yeah, just set him on fire. You're gonna push somebody so far that it's a point of no return. Cassie says right now that she is going through PTSD therapy.
Trauma therapy.
Hmm.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a form of PTSD that she's been through.
Hmm. That's horrible.
Is she
That
ever
is,
going to be okay?
no, no. And honestly, like I said, I don't wish people dead, but I honestly wish that she would have killed him, because then she'd know that he's gone and he can never, ever, ever do anything to anybody. He can't make any phone calls to go after this one. He can't do any of that stuff anymore. He's gone off the earth.
Well, she stabbed him with a wine screw cork thing, and it hit a tendon, and he bled really hard for a long time, and they had to rush him to the emergency room. Gene Dilger left him, or maybe that was Kim Porter that did that. One of them did.
I think Kim Porter did.
Yeah, one of them did,
Yeah, I think it was Kim Porter.
because he abused her too. It wasn't just Cassie. It was
Well,
anyone.
it started back in college, if not before that.
I think it
If not
happened.
before
I
that.
think it went before that. I think the man was just so deranged, and yeah, wow. So the court hearing was called off early today
It's going to end
because,
at 3 o'clock from now on.
yeah, that's what that post said.
Hmm.
The judge went out and he had a post written, and it states, the following procedures will be followed for the duration of the trial. Failure to adhere to these procedures, absence or showing in good cause, will lead to preclusion of untimely disclosed witnesses and evidence, or the waiver of untimely raised objections. Legal issues addressed in advance by 10 p.m. each Sunday and every trial day. The parties are required to notify the court of any legal issues that need to be addressed the following day. This includes objections based on produced exhibits, review of materials, including 3,500 material, which I'm not sure what that is, for witnesses to prepare, testify the next day, and anything else that requires attention. The parties should meet and confer prior to the deadline to narrow the issue in dispute. See, the problem with it is they're bringing up, the defense is bringing in things, exhibits and things at the time of the trial, and the judges say, no, you have till 10 o'clock the night before. If you have a problem with what happened, you have until 10 o'clock the night before. You're not going to bring any surprises and start everything off that morning.
Well, there was a sidebar today that the defense wanted some evidence removed.
Right.
And I don't understand how the judge put up with this, because the judge is the ultimate in the courtroom.
Right.
But the defense said, if you don't remove it, then I will call Cassie back into the courtroom. And the prosecutor said, no, you won't.
Yeah, we're not.
So the judge removed that evidence.
Right.
I don't know why a judge would do that. I don't know why the judge just didn't say, look, this is my courtroom. I say what goes.
Right. And like he said on this that just came out, he is stating that if it's not brought to his attention by 10 o'clock the night before the trial, that it will not be permissible in court. The exhibits are by May 19, 2025 at 8 a.m. A list of all admitted exhibits shall be furnished to the court. The party should meet and confer in advance and make sure the list is agreed upon. By 8 a.m. on each trial date, the parties shall update the admitted exhibit list daily and admit the updated list to the chamber. So in other words, you're not going to come in here and you're not going to just all of a sudden just in the middle of everything go, I didn't see that stuff. No, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. You know they're going to have it, and you're not going to make it go away. You know what I mean? You can't surprise them. And I think that's what the defense is doing. Surprising them with all this extra added whatever, you know? Right. Right, Whoopi. It was all hearsay. But the thing is don't try to surprise them. He's just saying, don't come in here and start trying to surprise me.
Well, I mean, and the defense has brought in stuff that the prosecutor hasn't seen.
Correct. And he's saying we're not doing that anymore. No more. Either they know it's going to be there or you're not allowed to show it.
See, I was under the impression that when these trials started, everything had to be in. You couldn't just, we found this. Oh, we found that. I was under the assumption that when a trial begins, that's it. Everything is in evidence and it's recorded and it's documented. And that's why they say this is exhibit A1,
right?
A2,
right?
A3,
right?
Because it's all been submitted and documented.
Right. I'm with you. In fact, didn't the judge say that it all had to be submitted and everything by 10 o'clock that one night and everything? And they haven't followed any of those guidelines at all. Defense has not followed any of those guidelines. So now he has put it in an affidavit and sent out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they can call it.
Discovery happens before the trial.
They can't be surprising them with a bunch of total nonsense. And that's the whole thing. The defense is, it's all nonsense that they're bringing up. Mm-hmm. It's nonsense.
Yeah, discovery is when they're building the case and they're talking to people and they're documenting what the people have to say. Trust me, I've had a couple lawsuits from my car accidents, and I had discovery each time. So it's before the trial, and they have all their evidence to go to court with or to settle with. Yes.
Gathering evidence. Yep, it's all that stuff is prior to the court hearing, and they and like the judge said, the first day, all of this stuff is to be given to me by 10 o'clock at night on such and such day. They were supposed to do that. And then the next day he said, I see the defense has not followed the rules.
Right.
And they continue to keep doing that over and over. And he's like, no, this is going to come to a halt right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why the sidebar happened today. It's like, no, you're not going to do this. That's why we're throwing this out. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. We're not going there. We're not playing at circuits here.
But see, what the defense wants to do is they want to put evidence up there, even if it's for a split second till the judge says or somebody says objection, the jury will have seen it.
Right. And the judge is saying, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore.
See, in my opinion, if you're a defense attorney, you're a slime ball.
Well, it's all about money there too. Come on. They're getting paid $5 million.
Yeah.
You know, and they said that Diddy had everything signed over into his mother's name, mm-hmm. and his mother pays for everything. She paid for all the freak off stuff. That's why he was carrying cash, because he'd signed it all. But come on, you know what? Everybody knew what he was doing, that he was taking all of his stuff and he was trying to put it in a safe place so that he could have access to it later. The feds know that. They've been watching him for a long time. Yes, Wolfie, this is the truth. This is the truth. He knew what buttons to push. He's been trying to do that in there, and all of it's backfiring on him. He just needs to let his attorneys do what they're paid to do instead of trying to. He's not a lawyer. He's not even really a singer or an entertainer.
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure how
his career, as far as his career is actually washed up.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He was big in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I know you get royalties and all that other stuff and everything, but how did he become a billionaire?
Wolfie, I'm going to make a bet with you right now. I'll bet you a side bet that this man never takes the stand.
But then again, his ego's big enough. He might think he can get up there and prove everybody wrong.
Well, we'll see. You know what? I have a hard time believing that he's going to want to sink himself like that.
I know, but think of the mentality he had.
Right? I don't know. We'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
That's a toss up in the air.
You know, you know what, Wolfie? You're probably right. So if I lose, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll bet you a bar of soap and a jar of bath salt that.
You almost said baby oil, didn't you?
I didn't know baby oil. I'm not going to send you any baby oil, but I'll send you a bar of soap and a jar of I was going to say it again, bath salts.
I don't know. Watch her, Wolfie.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to send you no baby oil. No baby oil. In fact, I run down that aisle now. And if I win, we'll call it. But if you win, then I'll send you your soap and your bath salts. No baby oil, Wolfie. You're not getting any baby oil.
Make sure it's the large size of Johnson & Johnson.
Right, the 32-ounce one. Johnson & Johnson. Oh my gosh, I can't even go down that aisle anymore. And do you know the people that use that probably on their babies don't even want to go to the register right now with it? Do you know Johnson & Johnson's going to take a big hit over this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no baby oil.
Because I know my daughter-in-law got one of those gift kits,
Right.
and it had baby oil in it, and it's like, just throw that shit away.
Right.
Who even uses it on their baby? I mean, I use baby lotion. I never
Right.
use baby oil on my kids.
Right.
Never.
No. 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 I knew people that their hair was dry and they put baby oil in it, but no. There's other kinds of oil you can use.
Right.
Coconut oil or.
Yeah.
Yes, they are, Woofy. This is what I'm saying. They're probably going, you're getting baby oil? What are you getting baby oil for? Oh my gosh. Johnson & Johnson's going to take the biggest hit over this one.
If you remember back in the 70s and 80s, people used baby oil to go suntanning. They used it as a lotion. It was baby oil.
They did for tanning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Ooh, you guys. Ooh, I don't know. Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
I don't want any kind of oil, It's like my son pulled the olive oil out of the cupboard and it's like, ew, oil.
Yeah, with iodine. They did with iodine to make that dark tan. Yep. Yep. Well, guys, our hour. We're here at an hour, and I'm gonna call it a night because I'm tired. Because I'm gonna be on with Linda early in the morning, so I'm going to bed now because she's an hour ahead of me, and that means I have to go an hour earlier.
We're gonna shoot for 10 a.m.
We're gonna shoot for 10 a.m. in the morning.
And we'll probably be on about an hour, maybe 2. We might last till the lunch break.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. So, love y'all. Thanks for the support. Press
like on the way out.
On your way out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Have a fabulous night. And Theodore, have a fabulous day.
Yes.
Good night. Love you guys.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff.